Hi there, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Grada's Talk. As you know, my name is Grada Robertson and I'm the co-owner of the Purple House Wellness Center in Forth. I've been doing healing work for 25 years now, and so I classify myself as an old experienced healer and coach, and every week I like to touch base with you, my community, for like about 20 minutes just to give you some information or a little practice or a meditation to help you feel more relaxed and more spacious and a little bit healed on the inside of your body, just so that you have a happy day. Today I want to talk about autoimmune diseases or autoimmune disorders. They are so much on the rise now that 1 in 10 people has been diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder, right? That can be anything from celiac disease, thyroid issues, ADHD, autism, I mean, you name it, it has an autoimmune element to it, and it's just so rampant today. Okay, so that's the bad news, and if you're listening to me today, I'm sure you know somebody who suffers from autoimmune disorders, especially children. Or it could be you yourself. So I want you to know that I can help you, and I do that. I've been doing this for a very long time. So when I work with my clients, I set up direct communication with your body, with your immune system, or your subconscious mind, whatever you like to call it, your mind, your true self, your higher self. And I can pull out all the little programs that are bugging your system. It's a bit like if you were to look at the computer, imagine you open your laptop every morning and you notice, there's like 389 programs running. That would totally slow your computer down, wouldn't it? And then if you took it to somebody who could just delete all those programs and make it run smooth again, that would be how your immune system feels after you've been to a session with me. I've also written books about it. I've just decided today I want to read you a tiny little story out of my 3rd book, which is a bestseller on Amazon, and it's called Alchemy of Life. So this is a wonderful book to read. It's just full of stories about my work, clients, my family, recipes, myself a little bit, because I've had a colorful life, and it's a positive book. You can put it down, you can pick it up. It doesn't matter. You are going to feel uplifted and inspired, and it's going to fill in some blanks that you may never have known, bits and pieces that are important to know, but you didn't know that you needed that knowledge, right? So I share that from my heart in the book called Alchemy of Love. So with autoimmune diseases, I just want to give you my perspective on it. So your immune system, which is your subconscious mind, is as powerful as the galaxy. It has the power of the whole universe behind it. It's also super intelligent. Just think of it as like a big memory bank or a library, and it can, if a germ hit you, it would open the library drawers, all the filing cabinets, and it would go, oh, I remember last time Grada got hit by that same germ when she was 3, even though I'm 62 now. How did we recover from that time? And it pulls out the solution, and it starts to protect you and kill the germ or whatever it might be. On top of that, your subconscious mind also has information at its fingertips all the way back to your ancestry, like hundreds of years worth, perhaps all of humanity's worth. It's all there. So your subconscious mind, I want you to remember, is a being of the highest intelligence, right? So why do you suffer today then? Why do you suffer today from itchiness or food allergies or things like that? It's because your immune system is overloaded in the first place, right? Because we have so many toxins in today's, and so many injuries to our soul and to our body coming at us from the outside. And then also your immune system has become allergic to its own thought, to the thought process, to the way you talk to yourself every single day, which in most cases, none of us are very kind to ourselves. That builds up an allergy as well. And we have blocked emotions like that we can't access anymore because we've buried them too deeply, and they're to do with traumas that we experienced mostly in our childhood that come back to bite us when we're older, right? I remember when my eldest son was born, I was only 19 at the time, and it was a difficult birth, like a very traumatic for me. On the outside it looked alright, but for me it was traumatic in every way. But it was still a natural birth. But anyway, I came out with postnatal depression and other things, and I didn't really feel like that anyone understood me. I was also a new migrant in Tasmania, and I prepared for a home birth because people in Holland do home births. But when push came to shove, my doctor wanted me to go to the hospital. He didn't support me at home, even though he had promised to be there, and it just got from bad to worse. After a terrible experience, and I didn't really find any relief because people were just telling me I had to be happy. Look at you, you're healthy, you've got a wonderful boy, everything is good, like what are you going on about? I developed an allergy to apples, and I couldn't eat apples for a long time. It would just make my throat swell up. So for some reason, I think because my son was born in December, and not long after that we had apples in the garden, and the two got glued together, right? But my experience with my eldest son was tapping into other root causes or base root causes of stress from my childhood, and this was the last thing, and now the stress bucket is overflowing, and I was allergic to apples. But since then I've healed my allergy, so I learned how to heal people's allergies, and I can do that very, very quickly. I can do that with everyone. It doesn't matter if you're a believer or not. You don't have to believe in anything I do. So I help farmers who are allergic to the crop that they grow, and they're in danger of losing their farm because they are suffering from all sorts of health challenges, because let's say they are allergic to pyrethrum or stuff that they're growing, and one session and they're not allergic anymore. So this is good news for you, because not only do you get rid of that allergy, you also create a little bit more spaciousness and freedom and lightness in your nervous system, and basically I get rid of those stresses, and then your immune system, which is highly intelligent, of course runs with it, because your body doesn't want to destroy you. Your body wants to protect you and have the best life. All right, so the most inspiring story in this book is about a little girl called Zoe. That's a fake name, but the story is 100% true. And so the mom actually wrote me a thank you letter after I worked with Zoe, okay? So I'm reading this because I also realize nobody reads anymore these days. We're all too busy. We like to listen to audiobooks and stuff like that and podcasts. So I'm reading this article for you, okay? And it's a true 100% story. She's still doing really well today. So the story is about Zoe. She was born in July 2007, and it brought us a beautiful baby girl, a perfect 8 pound, 12 ounce bundle of joy. Zoe hit all the normal baby milestones and developed quite a little vocabulary. So she was a chatterbox from early on. She rolled over, made eye contact, always had a great appetite. She was toilet trained at 12 months without missing a beat. So she was a big baby and a smart girl. Her vaccinations at about 20 months turned our whole world upside down. Our once bubbly, happy girl changed overnight. She lost all her words. She became mute. She was no longer toilet trained, and from that moment on, she would constantly smash her head into the concrete. One thing I remember the most from that awful time is that her eyes appeared to cloud over, like a mist had descended over her. The diagnosis of autism came at age 3. It was hard to grasp. Where had my baby gone? Well, she is back. Just over a year ago, a friend told me about Grada at the Purple House. My friend knew that I was at my wit's end, as my daughter was doing a poo only once a month. Incredible, isn't it? Because she also wasn't eating much, because everything had shut down. Doctors, pharmacists, and even a specialist in the field of children and autism told me to use laxatives and gave me no support. No moral support, at least. When we got the diagnosis, I was told the same thing over and over. Don't expect your child to do this. Don't expect your child to do that. The connection between Grada and Zoe was instant when I went to the Purple House. Grada said, we can reverse this damage. She will go home today and do a poo. Yeah, right, I was thinking. Just by something as simple as a massage, because people often don't know what I do, like I might massage the child's hand or the feet, but actually I'm tuning into their body while I'm touching them. And these days I do that remotely as well, over the phone, right? Anyway, so she thought I was giving her a massage. And do you know what? My daughter did a poo that evening. My child now never shuts up. And at the last spelling test, she got 298 out of 300. Wow, that's amazing. She also got an award for reading. Yes, reading the most books at the whole primary school. She got an award for that. And so I'll just skip a little bit, but that's amazing because she went from non-verbal and not pooing and not eating pretty well overnight. The change was instant. So now, today, she asks for her medicine. So her medicine was really water, Himalayan salt, iodine, and a probiotic. And she says, when I have my medicine, Grada will be happy. She's so smart, and she feels how much good all this stuff is doing her. Okay, and then I'll just keep going for a bit. So no more clouded eyes for us. I can only see clarity in her eyes now, which is amazing. No more constipation. Instead, we now have a genius. Her coordination, schoolwork, and skills in social situations have left us blown out of the water. No more 3-word sentences, now we get full sentences. She can tell us things now that we thought we never would hear because she used to be non-verbal. And we used to only ever be able to communicate with our eyes. Sometimes I did read her wrong, I didn't understand her, and that would result in a meltdown lasting no less than an hour at best. Now meltdowns are a thing of the past. Can you imagine a life without meltdowns? I find myself chuckling about those moments now. Anyway, and so I now have a child who tells me, I love you, mommy. Isn't that what all moms need? It took a long time waiting, but it's awesome to hear, and something I took completely for granted with my other 2 children. And not just the words, but these words are also backed up by actions. She hugs me tight, she kisses me on the lips. 8 years I've waited for this. I'm forever indebted and truly grateful. Thank you isn't enough. Written by Cherie and Zoe. And then I actually... in the rest of the chapter, you can read how I explained what I did during the session and what I found. Super interesting to read for all moms. So this is the book Alchemy of Love, which you can read on Kindle for next to nothing. So worth reading and sharing with your loved ones. So today, of course, we're seeing more little Zoes than ever, or boys as well. And I want you to know that all this can be changed or turned around, I should say, in one session. And then the nervous system is back on track and it starts to self-heal. Usually I give parents some little tasks or, dietary alignments, little things that they can do to support the child. And most of the time, of course, the parent is super happy to do that because they want their child back. Everyone wants their child back, right? Now, Zoe was an extreme case with extreme autism, but I've seen children who have had nightmares, or they grind their teeth, or they have tummy troubles. It doesn't matter really whether the issue is physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. It's still bundled up in the one package that's your child. Also, whether it's bad behaviors. I have worked with children who have had extreme bad behaviors. But again, that's another autoimmune condition because their brain is literally fried from the wrong foods because the parents, and from toxins, right? From too much sugar. Just to tell you another funny story. Yesterday, Pete and I fed our donkey. We've got a miniature donkey called Cedric, and his best friend is Clover, the cow, who's a miniature cow, right? And every morning, Peter goes down, he feeds the duck some grain, and then he feeds Clover and Cedric. They get like half a bucket of grain as well. Well, yesterday, Cedric was so mean. Like he hovered over his little pile of grain and he was like nibbling with his teeth and his ears were all flat too, and he was turning around ready to kick Peter, and he also wanted to kick Clover, and he wouldn't let Clover eat her little pile of grain, and not even with Peter. Peter tried to shoo him away, and then he moved over to Clover's pile and he ate that as well. And so Clover just let him, because sometimes she can't be bothered picking a fight. Clover is much bigger than Cedric, but she obviously wasn't hungry. And I thought about it later, well, what's going on with Cedric, our donkey? And then I realized some of our Airbnb guests who love Clover and Cedric, I noticed how they were feeding them over the edge of the veranda, because they come right up to the guests, of course, on the veranda. And so Cedric must have had apples and carrots and stuff that got sugar in them, and it just addled his brain and brought out his nasty, egocentric, selfish side of his nature. Cedric is a funny donkey. He's always grumpy. He was born grumpy, but we love him anyway. Anyway, he was totally nasty. So I thought I should share that with you as well, because your child behavior, if your child is selfish or naughty or grumpy or uncooperative or doesn't concentrate, you're the parent, right? And just go back in your mind and ask yourself, how much sugar did my child have today or yesterday even? And by the way, toast, macaroni, rice, fruit juices, they all turn into sugar in the bloodstream, and the child can really only have probably 3 teaspoons, maybe only 2 teaspoons per day, sum total of everything. Like a potato turns into 9 teaspoons of sugar, a banana turns into 9 teaspoons of sugar. That's why they stopped giving bananas. They stopped giving bananas to monkeys in the zoo, because the monkeys were all getting sick and aggressive, right? So the whole point is, if you're stuck or you know somebody who's pulling the hair out, Peter and I have answers. Peter works the same as I do. We have this middle ground where we do things exactly the same. But basically what we do, we tap into your child's computer, get rid of heaps of stresses, empty the stress bucket. Now the immune system is free to do what it knows best, which is create excellent health. And we can undo things like vaccine damage, sugar damage from wrong behaviors, trauma damage, of course, like lots of people are traumatized starting in their childhood. When the parents are divorced, often, one party doesn't agree with the other, so sometimes, and they don't tell the parents. And so all this is locked inside the body. So I want you to know the child doesn't have to talk to me at all, because I read you like an open book. When you're in my room, your body tells me everything. That's the beauty of being an investigative healer. So, and then all the toxic pockets of toxic energy or disruptive or negative energy, I just blast them with positive energy, and together we heal your body, right? So actually you do the healing, but you get the support from me. So this is it in a nutshell. So please do come and check out my sessions. My receptionist is here to answer the phone. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is when I'm available for my clients. So I'm really looking forward to helping you with whatever your body needs. So please do reach out. Hope you found this interesting. I feel like we need to talk about these kind of topics a lot more, because they're so prevalent. And of course we know that it's only going to get worse, but it's up to us to create the change. And I want you to know solutions are here for you. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Let me know if you found this interesting, and I look forward to being with you next week. Big love from me. Bye-bye.